Basketball fans, welcome back to Zero Gravity, Apollo Media's NBA podcast brought to you by Big City Wings, Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. Shout out to Big City Wings. If you're in the Houston area, you've obviously experienced some hurricanes and some storms over the last couple of weeks. It's not been fun. I've been checking out the radars every day with y'all, but shout out to Big City Wings. They were feeding the people. They gave out like 2,000, or Mattress Mac helped out. He bought, 2,000, 5,000 wings, something like that to give out to the public over at Big City Wings. And then Big City Wings was feeding the police department the other day with some chicken breasts. They did 400 chicken breasts just from Big City Wings to the police department for all the work that they've done during the storms. It's been hectic. People have not had power. People have not had Wi-Fi. It's not been fun, but shout out to Big City Wings. They have all of their locations open now, I believe, as well. They all have power. So go check them out if you're in the Houston area. It's Houston's wing joint, Apollo's wing joint. And go check out Prize Picks. It's a daily fantasy app, and it's our daily fantasy app over at Apollo. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit, which means you put in $100, you get $100. Pretty good. Daily fantasy. Shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up. I am joined always by the What We Learn Houston Rockets Edition King, Josh Garcia. Welcome back, bud. It's been a while. It's been a hot minute.
We're back. We're here. I almost died. Came back to life. Just kidding. Had a great appearance on Summit State of Mind. Shout out the boys. They brought me back to life.
They did.
Been out the game for too damn long. But we're back at it. Thank you for your solidarity, checking the radar. Shout out to Big City Wings too. I didn't even know they did that because I would have been waiting in line with the rest of us. Because we could all use some chicken wings. What are we talking about?
Sure. Absolutely.
But we're back though. We're feeling good. NCAA football's here. The whole pre-show, we were just discussing strategies, just complaining about the air raid offense, complaining about the offensive linemen. But you got your 5-star guys coming in. Starkville, Mississippi is looking to be just miles ahead of the rest of the SEC. Give it about 3 virtual years. U of H will be Liberty Bowl back-to-back Liberty Bowl champions. Once I get off this recording here, and we'll go from there. But I'm back. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I think most of the time I don't have a lot of thoughts. My brain is very empty most of the time. And that's a blessing and a curse at the same time. But 97% of my thoughts have been about College Football 25 being out and just how am I going to recruit this virtual 5-star? Have you seen the names that are coming out? We just need to take a second for this. Have you seen the names on like the recruits that are coming out? I saw one just before we hopped on. Kevin Durant. That's one.
Yes.
Yes. Have you seen the one Jeff Epstein, running back from Birmingham, Alabama?
Oh man,
the name generator is a problem.
Not a good look. My first day, I got Nick Castellanos. Almost recruited him.
No, you should have done that because then something bad would happen in real life, and you would just want to. He would score a touchdown. It'd be awesome.
He was ninth on my pipeline, and then he locked me out. Man, week 2 he locked me out. I was like, "What? There's no deal breakers."
He didn't give you a chance.
He didn't give me a chance, man. He was in his top 5, and he said, "Fuck the Houston Cougars." It's a very unfortunate situation, and hopefully I maybe don't get a Jeff Epstein, but maybe LeBron in there or a Kobe in there,
that'd be
or
cool.
Kareem, and then a hyphenated last name. That'd be great.
There was a Miami Dolphin that was named Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes, very true. Yeah. Very true. Love it.
But that's enough college football talk. This is a basketball podcast. If you want more college football talk, go check out the Get Back Coach. It's a great podcast. The boys know college football over there. Go check out them. They're getting on YouTube starting this season as well on Apollo HOU. So hit that subscribe button because we're going to have basketball, football, baseball. We got all the things on there. It's great.
Oh, yeah.
So check out Apollo HOU on YouTube. So, Josh, we are completely stealing something from someone. Admittedly, we're almost at the 5-minute mark of this podcast, so I think I can say it, and YouTube might not kill me. I don't know how that works, like laser beams or missiles, one of the sorts. Ryan Russillo, 30 teams, and each team gets 30 seconds. 30 seconds in each team?
Yeah, 30 teams, 30 minutes.
Okay. We can do that.
That's where we're going off here.
Yeah. So the last time you have seen podcast from us, Zero Gravity, on Apollo HOU YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts, Podcast Network, on Apple, Spotify, all the things. Hit the subscribe button. I was mourning my Dallas Mavericks. I don't believe we have talked since then online. Me and Josh have talked, and we recorded a full episode right after the draft, day 1, day 2, right after the second round finished. Having days in the draft, that was miserable. We recorded something then, and internet in Georgia just wasn't complying, so that episode never came out. It is in the ethers of whatever hard drive I put it on. So here we are. 30 minutes, 30 teams. 30 teams in 30 minutes. 30 teams in 30 minutes. There we
Let's
go.
get after it. You're our narrator here. Let's get after it.
Yeah, so we're looking at the NBA.com free agency tracker. Obviously, we're not going to talk about draft picks because they're not really on here. So the Atlanta Hawks, they traded DeJounte Murray. Did you know that?
They did do that. It might have taken me 30 seconds to figure that out when we started talking about this, but they got him. They got their boy.
Sure.
The Pelicans got their boy.
Okay. Yeah. Great. But the Atlanta Hawks, they got rid of DeJounte Murray. They got worse. They got a number 1 overall pick that seemingly was never the consensus number 1 overall pick by anyone's standards. And that should work out really well. But Trae Young is still on your team. So that's cool. Anything else on the Atlanta Hawks? They're in like hell, purgatory, a purgatory hell. Like they're at the bottom of the league and it doesn't matter, but there's no light at the end of the tunnel, so they're just sitting there in a room.
No. If they had Alex Sarr, that'd be a fun little pick and roll vibe. Maybe Alex Sarr would play the power forward, and Trae Young would suffer with the rest of the Atlanta Hawks. But really, just it makes me feel bad because not bad for this person I'm about to name, but bad for Trae Young. Chris Paul just taking the shine and playing 1 year, 2 years, however many years it's going to be with Wemby. Instead of my glorious king Trae Young. It makes me very sad that he has to live in basketball purgatory, for the foreseeable future. But there's definitely you could be in a lot worse of a position as a team. Yes. I think that they're going to get 35 wins, 40 wins as they usually do, and maybe sneak into the play-in. And sure, I guess Ricochet did not look terrible in the summer league, and
I heard.
That's all I got on the Atlanta Hawks. Thank you.
Yeah, that's fine. Next team, Boston Celtics. They literally re-signed everyone. So I'm going to list them all off. Luke Cornett, a guy that I can't pronounce his name, Jason Tatum, Xavier Tillman, Derek White, and they also extended Drew Holiday. Money is seemingly not an issue, or the second apron is also not real. I haven't decided which one is which yet, but the owner is selling the Boston Celtics, or trying to sell the Boston Celtics, so it's not his problem anymore. He just gave it off to someone else. They're literally running it back. They didn't lose anyone, and they didn't add anyone. So exact same team running it back for Boston next year.
Yep. They have a championship caliber team for the next 5 years, and maybe the new owner can, get reeled in because of that. He's going to have a big price tag, not only with how much he's going to have to buy the team for, but with all the money that's seeming to be going around in Boston here. But good for them, I guess. Boston clearly has never won enough championships to be satisfied. Wish they could just fade into mediocrity, because I hate the Boston Celtics so much that I nearly became a Dallas Mavericks fan for an entire 2-week period.
You did. It was a strange time.
People do forget that, and that wasn't even a month ago, and I'm already filled top to bottom with regrets here. And hopefully the Boston Celtics don't ever have to do that to me again. And also, I don't really want to see a championship series or a NBA Finals with those two teams ever again.
No, it wasn't very fun. No. Another thing on the Boston Celtics, trouble in paradise, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum did not win Finals MVP and is on the Olympic team. Jaylen Brown won Finals MVP and is not on the Olympic team. I guess that's a consolation for having the first $300 million contract before Jason Tatum got one. Derek White then replaces him. So then Jaylen Brown calls out Nike and also kind of made fun of Bronny James Jr. for not being good at basketball. He belongs in the G League, I think is a quote from him the other night. Trouble in paradise. But that's for next season. That's next season's drama. We'll talk about it after the Olympics. Next team, Brooklyn Nets. They traded Mikal Bridges finally.
Yeah, so they got cool. Their price. Yeah,
they got 5 first-round picks because the Knicks were like, fuck it, power friendship, boys. We're doing it.
Prices went up.
Mikal Bridges goes to the Knicks. They ended up getting Bojan Bogdanovic, another guy I can't pronounce his name, Shake Milton, and then they re-signed Nick Claxton. So running it back without Mikal. That's cool.
Solid 23 wins. I wouldn't say 60 losses just yet, but it's going to get bad over there for sure. I don't No good vibes. At the beginning, I was like, oh, the Rockets got 4 first-round picks for 2, essentially. And then I saw how bad the Nets were looking to be. And it's essentially, it's like the Rockets are just assuming that another team is going to do the exact same thing and risking it for even more of a biscuit instead of just thugging it out like the rest of the teams who stockpile draft picks, which is weird because I don't think Raphael Stone's in a situation where he's got a microscope on his head. I know he's a GM, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
I
strange
thought it
times.
was very funny that you traded probably the top 3 lottery pick next year for the Suns picks, so in hopes of trading for one of the Suns superstars, but not right now. That's very funny to me. Like, let's wait till next season. Why are we making the move now? Because you can make the move later if you really felt that way towards the trade deadline. I don't know. Charlotte Hornets. Why?
Yes. Keep going.
They added Taj Gibson, who has no knees and no speed. He walks with cement feet. Josh Green from the Mavs in a trade, which I believe was the Klay Thompson trade, which we'll get to. And they got Reggie Jackson from a trade from the Nuggets. And then they re-signed Seth Curry and Miles Bridges. Hell.
No, all of it. All of it. The team is in hell. R.I.P. Poku. That's a very unfortunate situation because you'd think he'd be like the next, maybe even the I don't know where he's from, the Serbian Kevin Durant. Some were saying.
That's Bill Simmons' favorite player. So
yeah, Bruno Caboclo vibes. But unfortunately, that was not the case. It hasn't worked out as he's on his second team. And, it goes to show you not every splash pick works out. Look at Usman Garuba, Josh Christopher, etc.
Yeah,
it is what it happens.
Sorry, Charlotte. Chicago, also sorry. Patrick Williams got a 5-year, $90 million deal. Hilarious.
I think that's great, okay?
$90 million for a guy that plays 12 games a year? You could have told me it was 5 years for 9, and I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
It's not the point. He's a good player when he plays. He's a great player when he plays.
Yes, agreed. They added Chris Duarte, Josh Giddey, and Jalen Smith. Very funny. They lost Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, and Andre Drummond. Oh, Chicago.
Chris Duarte has been up next since the Trump administration. It's very unfortunate that he just hasn't kicked it on a squad for a long time.
Well, we might have another Trump administration, so maybe you can pick it up then. Not to get political on everyone, but that was pretty crazy. Cleveland Cavaliers, they re-signed Donovan Mitchell to a 3-year extension. A lot of money. I don't know what the numbers are, but a lot. And that pretty much means they're going to trade Darius Garland, if I had to guess. Because they don't like each other. Because they changed 8. Wasn't Darius Garland and Donovan both with Clutch or both with CAA or whatever, and one of them left because they were competing on deals for the same team? Yeah. Darius Garland's as good as gone.
Vibes are all the way off over there, but in a way, it's almost like they are half-heartedly running it back because this team is going to make the playoffs in some aspect. Maybe Evan Mobley will make that year 4 leap that everyone said that Jalen Green is going to make next season. I don't know what's going to happen. Can't wait. Can't wait for the Cleveland Cavaliers to win one game in a first-round series, and
it's going to be great.
Get the fuck out of there. That's going to be great.
Donovan Mitchell's going to have 47, and it's going to be awesome for one game.
He is just suffering in all of the worst NBA markets, and I think he was. Where do we think that he was going to go? It was some other Midwest. No. We're not talking about New York. I think somebody said Milwaukee or something like that, or maybe it was just in passing. I think it was a joke that
wasn't
we
it
made.
Indiana?
Maybe it's like you're in the worst NBA markets possible. I can't even imagine. Imagine he goes somewhere else and it's like not Miami or New York. I mean, obviously he signed the extension, so maybe he's not going anywhere. But
I can't wait for him to end up in San Antonio.
Your third time around, you end up in San Antonio.
It's gonna be awesome.
Poor guy.
Can't wait for that one. He also went to Louisville, so that sucks. They have a lot of bourbon there.
So it'll be 4. So it'll be number 4 now.
My Dallas Mavericks are up next. We lost Josh Green in the trade to the Hornets. Tim Hardaway Jr. traded to the Pistons. Thank God. I have never been happier. Derrick Jones Jr. departed in free agency to the Clippers. We added Quentin Grimes, Najee Marshall, and Klay Thompson in a sign and trade from the Warriors. I don't know. I feel good about this team. Like, Klay Thompson is 34 years old. I understand. However, PJ Washington and Derrick Jones Jr. were the two guys that were pretty much open like all the time during the playoffs, and you could either suspect they were going to make 6 out of 8 threes or they were going to make 0 out of 10. That was pretty much it. And which
Yep.
I know we've seen with Klay Thompson. He went 0 for 10 or whatever in his last game with the Warriors, but Klay Thompson seems more of a sure bet in the corner. Like that
Definitely.
just sounds so much better. And even if he's not that good on defense, it's okay. It's fine. Just score more points than the other team. The defense was fine in the playoffs. Score more points. That's the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah, exactly. Based on historical trends, you'd want that guy in your corner, even if he had a bad last year. And even then, like, he still had pretty decent games sometimes. Not all the time like he used to.
Averaged like 18 with 39% from 3. Like you take that all day fucking long.
It's so crazy. Like when you have the microscope of Twitter or like other socials like beaming on your head, you're like, oh, this guy played like shit this night. And then he plays 2 games against, let's say, Sacramento or like Milwaukee or like, let's say, like Indiana before Indiana made that deep run. Like nobody was talking about it, but it is what it is. And we'll get to the Warriors here in a minute. Oh man, I can't wait. It's officially official.
Yeah,
Quentin Grimes though. Quentin Grimes, shout outs.
If he can stay healthy, he's also a 40% 3-point shooter, and he plays really good defense. Najee Marshall is a little bit better on offense, like more well-rounded on offense, and also very good on defense. So that kind of replaces Derrick Jones Jr. It's going to look different, but same, I guess, player mold. He's just going in the same spot. So it'll be fun. I'm excited to see what it looks like in October. Next team, Denver Nuggets. Lose KCP in free agency to the Magic. Reggie Jackson was traded to the Hornets for whatever reason, and Dario Saric is on the Nuggets now. I just learned that reading that. I did not know that. The Nuggets, is it over?
It's looking to be, folks. You have a generational guy and a black hole in Michael Porter Jr. on that team, and you think that they'd want to send the house and, NCAA football reference, send the house, and get their guys better, get them a better team and keep that window open. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And shout out Dario Saric, girl on Twitter, Lisco2000. Love your tweets, but the Dario Saric is not going to help this team in any way, any capacity.
No. Michael Porter Jr. story, I met him at a Mississippi State Mizzou basketball game his freshman year when he played 0 games for Missouri because he was a 5-star. He was like the number 1 guy in the class, and he played 0 games because his back just literally could not work the entire time. Dapped him up. He had a hypervolt in his hand. He was just doing a little massage gun on his leg. Dapped him up. So, hey, good luck this summer. when he got drafted, he dapped me up. And that was it.
Awesome.
Yeah,
cool guy.
Good times. Detroit Pistons, they signed Cade Cunningham to a 5-year extension, which I believe was like $207 million. I think it's lower because he doesn't play a lot of games. They added Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris, Wendell Moore Jr., and Paul Reed. Oh, my God, I didn't think it could get worse. Oh, my God, I didn't think it could get worse.
Yes,
and now you just added, talk about black holes, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris. You added 2 of the biggest black holes that will never stop shooting in your entire life. Although they could go off for 40 that night. They very much could. They've done it before.
60 shots.
It's on a lot of shots. Tim Hardaway, it's more like 15 shots for him. He's hitting every 3. If he has 41 points, he hit every single 3 shot.
When he's on, he's on.
God bless Detroit. I don't know how to help you. And you fired your coach and you owed him $80 million.
I love the Ron Holland situation over there. We haven't gotten much into draft talk yet, and try to refrain because considering that we did almost a whole hour on it, and none of you or none of me or you will ever be able to see it ever again. It's very unfortunate.
No, it's gonna be terrible.
Shout out B-Ball Paul for getting some money. Malik Beasley, great 3-point shooter, not the greatest of people.
No.
And Cade Cunningham, welcome 5 more years of whatever your life is going to look like in between now and then. Good for you.
Congrats on your $200+ million.
Get your money, dog.
That's pretty cool.
Send it back to Oklahoma.
Yep. Speaking of something that's over, the Detroit Pistons, maybe the Denver Nuggets, and the Golden State Warriors. Welcome to the club. It's over. It is over. They lose Chris Paul and Klay Thompson and Dario Saric, who also happened to be on the Warriors. Just learned that. They got Buddy Hield, you know. They got the Anthony Melton. They got Slow-Mo. They got Slow-Mo Anderson.
Oh yeah,
And Lindy Waters III. So
that
it's over.
38 wins. Welcome to purgatory, just like the rest of us. At points in our lives.
Over under how many games Draymond gets suspended for next season?
3.5.
Okay. Taking the over. Next team, Houston Rockets. Aaron Holiday returns on a 2-year deal.
He does.
And they got AJ Griffin from the Hawks.
This is very true. We didn't need to do anything. We got our boy Reed Shepherd. Cam Whitmore is still getting reps in the summer league, just like I mentioned on Summit, and it's throwing me off. I think he shot one.
I have to mention this. Scoot Henderson is not playing in the summer league. How is Scoot Henderson not playing in the summer league right now? What is he hurt? I just need to know, Portland. That's it.
I think the
had
vibes
to interrupt because it's like one of the 3% that I have free right now from College Football 25 is occupied by Scoot Henderson sitting on the bench or on on court side at summer league in Vegas.
Dude, I can't believe his vibes are off, dude. It sucks. It really sucks. I don't know why he's not in there. They could have Cam Whitmore'd it, and I think Cam Whitmore shot like 1 for 15 last night or something. Yeah. It was very bad. But Reed Shepherd clearly is the next three-pointing sharpshooter. Steve Nash, maybe a little mix of Chris Paul in there. I love Mark Price addition, his addition to the discourse on the internet.
Mark Price just because he's white?
Say it again.
Mark Price just because he's white, or
no, he literally tweeted at Reed Shepherd and was like, I see shades of my game in this guy.
Okay,
so
that's cool.
I don't know what's going on there. But the Rockets run it back essentially. Maybe Fred VanVleet is just not a Rocket next year. I don't know. Maybe Reed Shepherd just jumps out of the gym, literally, figuratively, shoots at the gym, not literally but figuratively. And we're here now. We might 48, 49 wins. Hello, we're knocking on the door. Maybe this Rockets Summer League team has given me hope, and that's all I could really ask for in mid-July when it comes to basketball. Maybe I think.
Maybe I don't know. Yeah, this is the last dance for the Rockets, I would assume, this year. Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, one of the two or bigger contracts is probably going to get shipped out for something bigger if that is the case this summer with the Phoenix Suns, with all the picks. And I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens with the Rockets. I'll root for you, except for when you're playing Dallas.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And Indiana Pacers, they re-signed Pascal Siakam and Obi Toppin Jr. to 4-year deals. They added James Wiseman to a 2-year deal, and they lost Jalen Smith. Not bad, I guess. You got the number 1 overall pick in COVID. Not that he's particularly great, but you got him.
Yeah, James Wiseman has been up next since the Trump administration. It's very unfortunate. This is third team, correct? Also, Jalen Smith, Dog of the Year winner, Zero Gravity. Was it Dog of the Year winner? Or
I believe he won something along this.
He won something that we did. Yes. So shout out Jalen Smith for getting his biggity bag. Love it.
Yep.
Can't wait to see him get some playing time over there because Andre Drummond's out in Chicago. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Good for him. I love the goggles. And then if you remember, it just always reminds me of LeBron James putting the goggles on. I don't even think that was Jalen Smith, but it was somebody. And he did the.
I remember that. That was good.
It was
next team, the LA Clippers. Interesting. Is it over, team? Because it's definitely over. James Harden returns on a 2-year deal. That's too bad. They're looking to waive Russell Westbrook, so they're breaking up the super team. Didn't work the last time either. Just by the way, and they added Mo Bamba, Nicholas Batum, Derrick Jones Jr., and Kevin Porter Jr.
Redacted. Keep that redacted.
Questionable signing there at the end. Derrick Jones Jr. Great addition. James Harden's gonna love him. Plays defense and goes for lobs all the time. It's gonna be sick. They lost Paul George. That's too bad. Mason Plumlee and Daniel Tice also leave in free agency. So yeah, it's over. Congrats to Kawhi for making the most money out of the duo in LA that it never worked and never got to the finals. So
did they
get to the Western Conference Finals?
I don't.
Did they get to the bubble one?
They got to the bubble one. I remember because that was
that one didn't count.
Yeah,
clearly.
That
one's erased from our brains.
And of course, the 1 year that most of them really are healthy, this year, it just completely blows up in their face. Kawhi
completely get injured right at the end.
Kawhi, they completely get injured at the end, and here we are. You get a couple James Harden games, and you're like, wait, this guy can still do it. So I think he'll be in the league till he's about 47, 48 maybe. I'm joking.
Seems
I
like a long time.
love people just throwing a bag at James Harden still in the big 2024. Love it.
Yep. Los Angeles Lakers going across the town, I guess, now, because the Clippers are in the Intuit Dome.
That's right.
With the wall. So they're out. They're out of Staples Center. Lakers signed Max Christie to a 4-year deal. LeBron James also returned on a 2-year deal for $100 and whatever million, and he saved the Lakers $3 million so they could stay under the first or second apron, whatever it is. Oh, they also added Bronny James Jr. and gave him a guaranteed contract for 4 years in the second round as the 55th pick.
Welcome to life, as is life. That does tend to happen, and I'm seeing a lot of misinformation and people complaining on Twitter about LeBron James' son getting guaranteed money. That
happened before.
Pretty often. It happens pretty often.
Yeah.
But obviously, we know that if this wasn't the situation, he would have been drafted. Even Jaylen Brown getting in the mix and being like, "Hey, this guy's not a pro." To his girlfriend, who shoots or has 1.3 points a game in the W. I can't do it. Not going for that.
It's fine.
Love it.
Right.
Love it.
Good for the Lakers. All-time father-son vibes. It's gonna be great. I can't wait for the first time they play on the court together. Like, it's gonna be like the King Griffeys. It's gonna be sick. Can't wait.
Bronny's gonna throw a hug to his dad. It's gonna be perfect.
A little hug afterwards too, hugging a kiss on the forehead or something. It'll be great. Memphis Grizzlies next team. Literally nothing on here, but they get Ja Morant back at the beginning of the season, so that's their addition. They will probably be good because Ja Morant's back.
Exactly. I did not. I maybe went down half of this page with you, and just seeing none makes
me. They did no homework. They didn't turn in any homework. It's not there.
Their dog didn't even eat it. They just forgot that it happened.
They just didn't do it. They refused.
They lost Steven Adams at the deadline. There you go.
That was so many months ago. It's been a lifetime since then.
Exactly, so brother. Welcome back.
Next team, the Miami Heat. They re-signed Bam Adebayo for a 3-year extension. Thomas Bryant, Haywood Highsmith, and Kevin Love. Congrats. They add Alec Burks. They lost Caleb Martin and a guy that I didn't know that was on the team. Okay. Congrats on the 7th or 8th seed and having to play some playing games. Like, welcome back,
man. Yeah.
Welcome back, Miami.
We're here. That's all I got. I don't got shit on these people. Nothing.
No, there's nothing.
I'm not saying a word.
Yep. I still love you, but it's not going to work.
I don't.
Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks added Taurean Prince, DeLon Wright, Gary Trent Jr., which happened today, actually. Tuesday, July 16th is when we're recording this. They lost Malik Beasley. Kind of the same response. Okay.
It's running it. They're running it back with even more role players this time around.
It's gonna be great. Can't wait. As long as Giannis stays healthy and Dame doesn't fall apart because he's pretty old now.
It's such midsummer vibes. I completely forgot Damian Lillard was on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Right, that was pretty crazy last year. Minnesota Timberwolves. They re-signed Luka Garza, added PJ Dozier and Joe Ingles, but they lost Slow-Mo. And that's pretty much the only thing that really mattered there. Kind of just running it back. Different role player inserted outside of Kyle Anderson. So, yeah, they're still going to be good. They have Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, and Rudy Gobert. They're going to be just fine in the regular season. We'll see how it plays out in the playoffs again. Anthony Edwards will be better. That's
all you want out of this team is just get Anthony Edwards the ball more or get him better. Rudy Gobert and Kat are in the quote-unquote primes of their career pretty much. So you kind of expect it out of them. But Anthony Edwards is still technically on the rise in regards to I think he's 22? He's going to be 22 in I think in 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, was he the
Don't ask me how I know that because we have similar birthdays. Okay. He's a week older than me.
Yeah.
Which is that's a big look in the mirror moment for me, for sure.
New Orleans Pelicans, they added Daniel Tice and DeJounte Murray with the trade with the Hawks. They lost Dyson Daniels, Najee Marshall, Larry Nance Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, and Cody Zeller. Did did they add Cody Zeller? Because it says departs via trade with Pelicans, and I'm reading this underneath the Pelicans thing, so that's
Cody
interesting.
Zeller is a Hawk. Cody Zeller is very much a Hawk.
Okay, so they yeah, this is weird. Cool. They added DeJounte Murray.
42 wins.
Yeah, in the West, maybe not. Might be 39.
Shit.
If Zion plays more than 50 games, you probably win 44 games or something like that. But
yeah, I mean, no thoughts. Truly, no thoughts.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Welcome to the all-time power of friendship team of literally all time. Like, this is it. The New York Knicks. They re-signed OG Anunoby to a giant extension that everyone was like, "Oh boy, that's a lot of money." Jalen Brunson took $113 million less than what he was basically owed. I mean, he could have just said that, and the Knicks would have signed him to it. He took $113 million less. Good for you, Jalen Brunson, King of New York. Power of friendship. Mikal Bridges joins the team with 5 first-round picks going out. They lose Isaiah Hartenstein because of it to the Thunder in free agency, but they added Mikal Bridges, and now they have like the ultimate Nova boys, the Nova Knicks. It's a real thing, boys. It's they're just putting the national championship teams back together, and it might be a problem, or it might not be. I can't decide, but power of friendship nonetheless. Love it.
Yeah, the Eastern Conference Finals is not ready. This team makes me feel something, which is weird because not many teams make you feel things. I'm glad that they were able to do this and have this little power friendship moment. Jalen Brunson taking, what is it, 156? You said.
I think he took 156, but he gave up 113 million.
Right, which is hilarious and awesome at the same time.
Yes.
They basically traded away 5 first-round picks, but they got over $100 million back on the back end. I mean, obviously, I think that money has to get thrown around somewhere. Of course, OG Anunoby and maybe Mikal Bridges when he needs to extend. I mean, sure, it's good to have that money around when you can, but we're forgetting that that campaign is a Nick. Falsifying his name in police report or falsifying his names to officers. He doesn't give a shit. He is gonna give you 8 great points off the bench every night in MSG. It's going to be a movie. He's going to be throwing lobs. He's going to be catching lobs. I don't care. Anything can happen when you're campaign. Anything can happen when you're the power of friendship team, when you're the Nova Knicks. And this team makes me feel something. Can't wait to see it happen unless they're playing my Rockets, which is only twice a year. So who gives a shit?
Yeah, and Mikal Bridges also came out and said he was going to take less money on his next contract too to make sure this team stayed together. So power of friendship, all-time high.
Salute, soldier.
Oklahoma City Thunder. They re-signed Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins. They added Alex Caruso and Isaiah Hartenstein. They lost Josh Giddey, which is more of an addition, if you ask me, and Lindy Waters III. Yeah, they're going to be a
Josh
problem.
Yeah, Josh Giddey sucks. They're going to be great again. Isaiah Hartenstein just got his money. Just got his money dipped off. We said that he was going to be due for $100 million. What did he exactly sign for? Was it 5 years,
3 for like? Did he get 5 for 120 or like 3 for 80 something?
Regardless, it was a lot of money, and we kind of expected
3 for 87.
Okay. So almost if he signed a 5-year, it would have been well over 100. So,
but he's living in Oklahoma City, so he's basically getting $85 million out of that. Like he's getting most of it.
Yeah, which is pretty damn good. Of course, he'll be in a weird position with everything that's going on in Oklahoma City. This is not talked about enough with just the overall city. They're having like the world's largest building in America, or in I think North America, or maybe the Western Hemisphere or something. I don't know. It's going to be a very large building just in the middle of Oklahoma City, and there's going to be Olympic events there. Apparently, there's going to be a lot of cool stuff happening in Oklahoma City. Maybe an MLB team soon. They want. I'm like, you're like 8th in line, buddy. Like get back, chill out.
They have a AAA team already, so
big oil boom. Also, I just found out a couple weeks ago they changed their name from the OKC Dodgers to the Oklahoma City Baseball Club. So it's weird vibes. But I don't know what's going on over there. I think they're still the Dodgers team or something. I don't know.
That's weird.
Maybe
they won't be after this year. Maybe that's the problem. Next team, Orlando Magic. They re-signed Jonathan Isaac and the Wagner brothers. They added KCP on a 3-year deal for a lot of money, and then they lost Joe Ingles. They got better, but not good enough to like get through the second round. Really, like they're gonna be better because they're gonna progress as a young team and everything. But I don't think KCP is just going to put you over the first round hump. You might get there, and y'all went 7 in the first time against Cleveland, right? So maybe. I don't know.
Sure.
We'll
Let them
see.
have it. Let the guys play. You got the Wagner brothers, and I think Paulo Banchero might actually take that year 3. Where are we at? Year 3, year 4, year 3 leap.
Something like that.
And maybe things will just be looking on up. I mean, I'm not saying they're going to go to the Eastern Conference Finals or anything, but having a good, fun young team around who's winning games, that's never really a bad thing, unless it's
No.
of course we can nitpick situations here and there, but good for them. Let them have it. Let the boys have fun. KCP in a Magic uniform is going to look aw fucking some. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. I'm rooting for
Yeah.
them. Philadelphia's 76ers. They got Tyrese Maxey back on a 5-year extension, and they brought pretty much everyone back that kind of played for them. They lost Buddy Hield in the trade that we talked about earlier, campaign. They added Andre Drummond, Paul George, Eric Gordon, and Caleb Martin. Good for adding Paul George. Bad that you have a historic playoff joker when you need people to perform in the playoffs on your team. That's my opinion.
But his aura is Eric Abadu. He loves playing smoothly. So maybe he'll just the power of aura. That might be the Sixers team. I don't know.
Power of PU.
Yep, that's right. Get him.
Nailed it. Phoenix Suns. Is it even worth mentioning? They added Monty Morris and Mason Plumlee. They lost Drew Eubanks and Eric Gordon.
Yeah,
okay.
Bol is still getting NBA money, and I think that's important.
Yeah, congrats on losing in the first round again. If you make it there, West might be tougher next year with Memphis coming back.
That's right.
Not going to be great. Portland Trailblazers. They added Denny Advia, right?
Advia. Yep,
There it is. They lost Malcolm Brogdon. Denny wanted to come to Portland because his family, I believe, lives in Portland or near Portland. So he asked the Wizards for a trade to Portland, and they did it.
Sure. Denny Advia, he'll give you good value. Like we saw, he like in spurts last year. He was really good in spurts last year, and I mean, maybe he can start for them or something. I don't know. Sure.
I wanted the Mavericks
give the
guy
guy 15 and 10. Yeah, exactly.
Before we did the Daniel Gafford deal, I was like, could we not have Denny? It worked out. Sacramento Kings. They got Malik Monk back, 4-year deal. They added DeMar DeRozan, Jalen McDaniels, Jordan McLaughlin. They lost Harrison Barnes, Quiz Duarte, Davion Mitchell, and another guy that I don't know. Interesting offseason. None of this is going to put you in the Western Conference Finals.
No.
So
I mean, no, not at all. People forget. I think Davion Mitchell was a top 10 draft pick, correct?
Yeah,
that
kind
of stinks.
Good last year too.
Yeah, he's a good defender. I mean, every time I've seen him, he's kind of been. Wasn't his nickname Off Night or some shit? Right? It was something crazy. But anyway, when I did see him this season, he played awful on offense, but like he was locking. I don't care if you were 5'11" Fred VanVleet or a 6'11" Alperen Şengün, like you were getting beat on. So it was just a crazy situation, and hopefully the Raptors are going to be one of those teams where you can watch them and feel maybe something about a young team. Hey, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes. We'll get to that. We'll get there.
Yeah. Okay. Good for Sacramento. They tried something different. They realized it wasn't working. Let's try something different. See if it works. San Antonio Spurs, the team that no one wants to see in the next, I guess, in like 2 years from now, 1 year from now. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We'll see. Wemby's on the team, so that would be why. Harrison Barnes, Chris Paul, both are joining San Antonio. So this makes their team exponentially better than it did last year because you have a point guard that may or may not play more than 50 games in the season and is also like 38 years old, but neither here nor there. The best point guard they've had since Tony Parker. Good for them. They lost Devontae Graham.
Sure.
So they got better. They have a scorer, they have a point guard, and they have Wemby. They're fine.
35 wins next year. Maybe 40.
Yeah.
We'll see.
They're not expecting much, and they have a bunch of picks next year too, and I think they're counting on that draft. So that might be a problem. Toronto Raptors, your favorite team apparently. Scotty Barnes, 5-year extension. Emmanuel Quickly, 5-year extension. Gary Temple agreed to 1-year deal. They added Davion Mitchell, and they lost Jalen McDaniels and Gary Trent Jr. So kind of just switching a little bit up, but not much. Emmanuel Quickly getting that much money was shocking. I love Emmanuel Quickly. I am a Knicks
something that you
truther,
don't.
and I love Emmanuel Quickly. Giving him more money than what I believe Jalen Brunson is getting is crazy.
I was wondering if it was in the 150 range, and I thought about it, and I was like, it probably is, and it's going to freak me out once I do see that number officially.
Not 150. I would go up.
Oh, I'm scared.
It's 175.
Oh my god!
Yes.
You're kidding me, dude. You're kidding. That's ridiculous.
No. It's 175. Let's see what Scotty Barnes signed for, just because he got a max.
Probably like I'm gonna say 225, right?
Why is that not just in the header? 225 over 5 years. Yeah. So that's a lot of money for a team probably not going anywhere in the East. I mean, even though they might make it to the second round for shits and gigs next year, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe. They could. If RJ just goes off, my beloved RJ Barrett,
beloved RIP, he should be on that Knicks team too.
I know, he just didn't fit in. I don't know, something about it.
Is it because he's left-handed? Stone.
Jalen Brunson's left-handed.
It's not
Julius Randle's left-handed.
That's not the point.
There was too many lefties. There we go.
See where I'm getting at.
All right. That's their Toronto Raptors, though. Anything more on them?
No, got it. I already let it out.
That's great. Utah Jazz. They pretty much haven't done anything yet. We're waiting on the Lauri Markkanen news to either happen or not happen. This is classic Danny Ainge being the GM saying he's available, but only for a certain price, or I'm willing to trade for this person, but only at a certain price. And it goes on for 3-4 years. Remember the Paul George to the Boston Celtics thing that happened forever? Jimmy Butler as well, I think, was in there. So we're just going to do this for another year, and Lauri Markkanen's probably just going to end up being a Utah Jazz player. Yeah. And they changed their jerseys, but not for this season, but for the next season, which I thought was weird that they announced
big things happening ahead. Yeah, that's so strange. But, big things happening in Salt Lake City. Shout out the hockey club or whatever they're going to go
That'll be pretty sick. Utah Hockey
Club.
For
them.
It's going to be sick.
Can't wait.
Yeah. Great colors, terrible jerseys to start. So that's rough.
They'll change it. It'll be fine.
Last team, and I don't think we did this in 30 minutes exactly, but we got kind of close. Washington Wizards. They brought back Rashawn Holmes, Mav for life, if you didn't know. They added Sadiq Bey, Malcolm Brogdon, and Jonas Valanciunas. They lost Denny and Landry Shamet. All right.
Yeah, Alex Sarr.
Whoa. Yeah, they got Alex Sarr, and
he's really cool. 7-foot point guard. Yeah, love it. Guy's sick.
Yeah, he might be fun. I don't know. We'll see. And they're probably going to suck and have a chance at the lottery next year, which apparently is supposed to be a really good draft. So I've been told. Have I done the research? No. I'm busy recruiting 5-stars. All right? I'm not doing that research yet.
I'm busy getting Nick Castellanos to be my offensive lineman. Thank you.
I need Kevin Durant as my tight end. Like, that would be so sick. But yeah, that was 30 teams in 30 minutes, kind of, roughly.
I think we did fine. Hey, we were off for 3 weeks, so Mojo's coming back. We'll keep pushing, keep going strong. Houston strong, even.
Yeah. And,
all right, that was corny. My bad.
It's fine. Let's go back. We'll be back next week. We'll talk Olympic basketball, and then whatever else is on our minds, basketball wise, and maybe it's not basketball wise. I don't know. This is a basketball podcast. We'll lead with that. It could go other places. It always does. It always happens. It will forever. This is how this show works, and if you're not used to it, it's not my problem. But yeah, free agency was pretty crazy. Like, after it started going, like that about midnight, because it was like 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. or something like that when it started, and then nothing happened. They cracked down on tampering, basically, so you could agree to it beforehand, but you couldn't say anything till 2-3 hours in. So I don't know. Things happen. Klay Thompson's a Maverick, so I'm good. I'm solid.
Yeah, no, you got your guy. I'm so happy for you, and the Rockets are running it back. Every year I've been saying this since like a little bit before COVID. It's like the NBA is just getting exponentially better time and time again. And then you look up and you see, oh, Chris Dunn is still on an NBA roster, and it eats away at my brain knowing that things like that happen. But this is summer talk. I'm so glad that we're here. Shout out to you if you survived the storm. Not you, Stone. The people who are listening.
I was watching.
Love it. Loved the vibes at first, and then the power went out, and I was like, okay, it's over. So over.
Yeah.
It sounded like straight like almost tornado sirens were like hitting my window. It got up to like 100.
Mm.
For context, I'm on the west side, so the storm or the eye went just over me, and it was a little scary and eerie there for a minute. But we were out for about 4 or 5 days, and we pushed through just like the rest of us brave Texans do, and we're here now. So can't wait to get back on the zero gravity grind, and maybe we'll do maybe we'll talk more NCAA football next go around, and we'll do a little Olympics preview. That'll be fun. Can't wait.
Probably. It'll be great. But yeah, if you're in the Houston area, go give a thanks to Big City Wings. They're our sponsor on this podcast, but go sponsor them and go buy a meal from them because it is delicious food. They got great people, great beer, and great wings over at Big City Wings. But they gave back to the community, so make sure you give back to them. They're going to care about you, so you should care about them as well. We love Big City Wings over here. Houston's Wing Joint, Apollo's Wing Joint. Go check them out. I think they got 13 locations over the Houston area. It's awesome. Shout out to them. And shout out to Prize Picks. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Prize Picks is a daily fantasy app. It's only legal in a bunch of states, but it's legal in Texas, so you can use it. And it's fantasy. It's not sports betting. It's daily fantasy. So it's different. So shout out to Prize Picks. Shout out to Prize Picks, daily fantasy sponsor. Use code Apollo when you sign up and get up to $100 matched on your first deposit. Shout out to you, the listener. Shout out to you, the viewer on YouTube. And we'll be back soon. Talk some Olympics. Can't wait.
It's going to be beautiful. Puerto Rico, not a betting man, but if I were, Puerto Rico. I'm just saying.
All right.
I'm just saying.
Okay, Canada.
Yep.
We're just saying countries at this point. I don't know what we're doing.
Sure. Dwight Powell.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, strong agree. This has been Apollo Media's NBA podcast, Zero Gravity. Thanks for listening.